System Security 1.6. Malware. Malicious software installed without knowledge or consent. Okay, so you go onto a web page, somehow it gets downloaded, and it's on your machine. What does it do? It could do anything from deleting files or scareware. That's what the NHS had, where it starts saying, oh, you've got a virus, you need to download this product. So usually the product they're selling. So you go there and it's a scam. Basically, you've got all these viruses on your machine. You need to buy their product to get rid of them. Sometimes it locks files. That's where the NHS came in. Basically, they hadn't backed up all their files. They got locked out with ransomware. They encrypt the whole hard drive, and it says, well, we'll give you the key for it, but it's going to cost you some money. Or spyware, such as keyloggers, or even turn your webcam on so that they can see what's going on. How? Okay, so system security can be affected by a virus. Attached to files such as .exes, opening infected files. Okay, that's how a virus gets out. Double click on an exe, an executable file, and the virus is out there. The difference between a virus and a worm is self-replicating. It can spread quickly. So it copies its code. Think of a virus as a program. A virus is just a program, but a worm, once that program runs, it copies itself to other places and it just spreads around. Trojans, malware disguised as legit programs, relies on users to install. So let's say you're trying to steal a copy of Office. Everyone says, oh yeah, it's a copy of Office. You download it, you run it, you believe it to be Office, but actually it's just a Trojan, and then malware takes over your machine. Usually that comes from trying to steal things. It can be legit, like, okay, we're going to download some sort of protection for banks, and maybe a spoof website says, oh, download this piece of software to help you encrypt your files, whatever. But it isn't legit programs. But usually it's from stealing things. Threats. At the end of the day, computers only do what we tell them to do. So people are the weak point. Social engineering is where we phone up over the phone and we try and disclose information. Get login details, those sorts of things like that, and it plays on humans' emotions. So I've seen it done before where somebody will play a baby screaming in the background, and they'll ring up and say, oh, I'm locked out of this, my husband's got the passwords for it, can you tell me what they are? And the person on the phone feels sorry for them, and they tell them, and they play on human instinct. Phishing. Criminals send emails that pretend to be from a business, e.g. NatWest, or you have won this much money and we need this going on. Or PayPal is a good one. A recent PayPal purchase hasn't been able to go through. Please click on this website to sort it out. Users accidentally hand over information to the criminal. So you fill in your details to log into PayPal on their fake PayPal, and it sends it across. Usually they are sent to the masses, on thousands of them. So they send one email out to millions of people. It needs one person to give you some money, and that was worth it. It took 10 seconds to send the email out. One person replies, gives you £1,000. That was like £1,000 in 10 seconds. Anti-phishing is now built into email software, and you can usually spot them by poor grammar. So please send me monies, things like that. A brute force attack is where we try and break into a website or a product through just trial and error. We're just trying things over and over again. So a bit like a dictionary attack where we just... Is this working? No. Is this working? No. Is this working? No. So it's good in a design to allow maybe 5 goes at it and then locks you out, because that's what will happen if not. It'll just keep trying over and over again. A piece of software will be written that keeps trying to break in over and over again, the brute force attack. A denial of service attack is where strategically multiple people target a website, or we'll use a website as an example, and basically spam the traffic to that website so that you can't get onto it. They just block it so you can't get there. It's the equivalent of putting like a load of snow in the middle of a road so you can't get there. It accidentally happens on things like Black Fridays where you've got high volume of traffic, but denial of service attack is where you are deliberately doing that. The hackers or whoever's doing it send packets to make it look like there's a hell of a lot of traffic's going to that website to not allow access to it. SQL injection. When we look at databases, we'll cover this a bit more. But SQL is structured query language, and it's how you talk on a database. So select all names where the pin is equal to something. And traditionally, it's used for querying databases. So select, let's say it was like Netflix. So select all TV shows where the genre is horror and stars a certain actor. That's how we would query it to find the result we want. Or find all films, comedy of the year, I don't know, 2003. An SQL injection attack is where you find some part on the website where you can type into it, like a search bar, and you put SQL or database language into that part of the search bar, and you start looking, running database commands within the web page. So let's say you go onto eBay and you say select all users from the passwords table, and it shows you them back. So 3 things we can advise are antivirus, anti-spyware, and a malware scanner. So something like Malwarebytes is a malware scanner. Antivirus, Norton or Kaspersky, they look for viruses. They basically got a definition of all the viruses that are currently out there, and if your machine's got one of them or shows any of the signs of them, it will sort it out for you. Penetration testing is where specialists simulate attacks on an organization. So places like Facebook do this apparently once a month, try and break in. Best way around this is to have a solid network policy. So if you've got a network, you should regularly test the network to find the weaknesses. What's your weak point? Is it the call center that you've got? Is it the email addresses you use? Is it the password system you're using at the moment? Your policy might be you use, I don't know, change your password every 5 months. Well, if you're getting hacked into, maybe you should change that policy that the password changes more times than that. User access levels, so that not every person has the same access. Maybe the more power you've got in the business, maybe you've got more access. People on the lower level can just log in and see certain things. Firewalls and an acceptable usage policy. We've already said that malware tends to be on illegal websites. So if you're doing illegal activities at lunchtime or viewing websites you shouldn't be, that aren't suitable for work, chances are that could stop it. An acceptable usage policy. So don't look at holidays at lunchtime. Don't download things at work. Those sorts of things. Network forensics, they basically look at the cause of an attack. So as packets are coming in and out of the network, it's looking at those packets after there's been an attack and trying to look for any clues of where they come from. So we've said that packets have got a source address, destination address on them. It's looking at those forensically, like the police would do, to work out where the attacks come from and how it's happened. User access levels. Can everyone read the files in the network, or can they write to them? Can they append them? It's good practice to limit the amount of people who've got access to important data, and especially who can write to that data. So in school, I can read data, I can look up information, but I can't edit it. It's only the higher up people in the office that can do that. Passwords. What can be done with passwords? The standard things really: uppercase, lowercase, special characters, at least 8 characters, put 3 different words together. It's those sorts of things really. It's usually quite common sense, but it obviously isn't easy because people get caught out every day.